Charles Osgood substituting for Morton Dean.
Good evening. It is over in Poland. After almost 3 weeks of strikes that nearly brought the regime to its knees and the nation to the brink of catastrophe, an agreement has been signed giving the workers rights and privileges unheard of in the communist world. Gordon Josoloff reports.
It took 18 days, a government shakeup, and uncountable economic losses. But the Gdansk Shipyard strike finally ended on a peaceful and patriotic note today. Chief government negotiator Mieczysław Jagielski and strike leader Lech Walesa led the strikers in singing the national anthem. They both declared that the historic agreement signed today was for the good of the country. They noted with satisfaction they were able to settle the dispute without force and by themselves, an apparent allusion to the specter of Soviet intervention which hung over the crisis. Walesa, signing with a giant pen bearing a papal portrait, called the agreement a success for both sides. Jagielski said, "We talked one Pole to another. There were no winners or losers." The workers, however, didn't see their strike as a draw. For them, it was a lopsided worker victory. They were elated with the unprecedented government cave-in on their foremost demand for independent trade unions representing the workers' interests, not the communist parties. They also won major concessions on their other demands, among them the right to strike, relaxation of censorship, more church access to the media, and freedom for those jailed during the strike. The shipyard's 16,000 workers will return to work tomorrow, along with the tens of thousands of others along the Baltic coast who joined the strike in sympathy. Others on strike elsewhere should return to work within days. They are expected to achieve similar agreements with the government. Strike leaders say they are confident the government will live up to its side of the bargain. If it doesn't, they say, they'll call new strikes. After all, they now have the right to do so officially. Gordon Josoloff, CBS News, Warsaw.
One part of the agreement is already being carried out. Polish police have begun releasing dissidents who supported the striking workers in Gdansk and other Baltic coast ports. Dissident sources say they have been told that some others who have not been released as yet will be freed tomorrow. The central figure, indeed some might say the hero of the remarkable events in Poland, has been that strike leader, Lech Walesa. That fact must be particularly fascinating to a man who lives only a few miles from this news desk. Richard Wagner has the story.
Lech Walesa has worked at odd jobs for the last 4 years because he was fired from the shipyard where he worked when he became involved in labor demonstrations. His participation in the struggle of Polish workers dates back to 1970, but he says he's not against the socialist system. He's against the exclusion of workers from the decision-making process. Lech Walesa is a 37-year-old electronics technician. He's married, the father of 6 children. He's never been outside Poland, but in Gdansk yesterday, he told Gordon Josoloff he'd enjoy a trip abroad.
I'd like to go on holiday to the United States, to your country, and to visit my father.
W New Jersey mieszka.
He lives in New Jersey somewhere.
Your father lives in New Jersey? Where?
New Jersey, tylko że ja adresu nie pamiętam. Znaczy będę chciał załatwić, żebyśmy powiedzieli mu, że ja coś tu robię, żeby wiedział, że ja coś tu robię.
I don't remember his address, but I'd like you to relate to him that I'm doing something here, and he will obviously be proud.
If Lech Walesa does come to the United States to visit his father, he'll find him in Jersey City, New Jersey. 64-year-old Stanley Walesa, a widower, has been in this country for the last 6 years. He works in a lumber mill here, and when he retires, he plans to return to Poland. He told us, with his cousin translating, that he's aware of what his son is doing.
He certainly is proud of him. This unexpected turn has given him great joy and happiness that he's willing to do this for such a great cause, such a seemingly large, difficult cause.
Stanley Walesa is amazed at his son's victory over the communist regime.
Well, he is surprised, and he has a very large concern for his welfare and his well-being. He has known of some of his activities, but very limited.
It does not surprise Stanley Walesa that his son has become a leader.
From a little child, Lech had always been concerned for the small fellow, the underprivileged, and the one who needed something or someone. He defended the weak, and he looked for help with the oppressed, and showed a natural interest in people's misery and problems.
The elder Walesa told us that if his son is unable to come here for a visit, he will, if he can, go to Poland and visit him. Richard Wagner, CBS News, Jersey City.
The Soviet Union doesn't think much of Poland's strike leaders. Pravda today sharply criticized them, accusing them of links with what it called subversive elements abroad. No criticism of the agreement that was reached, though. The Russians are holding their tongues about that. CBS News will present a special report on what happened in Poland. Poland on a tightrope, tonight at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time.